Hello and welcome to Unit 72 on the 31st of March. We're going to look at aircraft technical logs. Now this is a difficult one for me to teach online via this method, so what I've done is I've produced a video. Now the video is not going on YouTube, it is going on Moodle, okay? So I'm reducing the size of the video because I don't want this video out into the general area. It's only for students of Newcastle College. And that is the video at the end of this will be the tech log video, so you have to watch this on YouTube and then you have to go onto Moodle, and there'll be a 3-part video, and I'm busy editing now at the moment to make sure it's not it was 16 minutes long. There's only about 10 minutes worth of usable footage, so I'm just editing that to talk about the e-tech log. What I'm going to talk about today is assignment 4. You're given the worksheet, which was everything that you've been taught in class up to when we broke up when we had to self-isolate for the coronavirus. So what I'm going to talk about is the parts of assignment 4. Now I've taken a part out of assignment 4, which was the flight servicing certificate, because in civilian tech logs that is actually mixed in with the tech log anyway, so it's pointless doing that separately. That's more of a military thing, which we're moving away from. What I'm going to teach you today are 3 basic technical log, or 3 basic aircraft paperwork procedures. We're going to talk about job cards and we're going to talk about work packages in a separate lesson. This lesson is about the technical log. Now the technical log is basically how the aircraft is legally cleared for flight, how the maintenance on the aircraft is recorded. Alright, we've already done some work in the hangar and we've mentioned racing job cards and things like that. Sorry, I'm kneeling on my pen. Right, we've mentioned raising job cards and things like that. We've talked about how a job card, when we raise an entry in the technical log, can ground an aircraft for flight. So let's look at technical logs themselves and we'll see how they're actually put together. Right. Right. So the technical log itself. The first one we'll look at is the military technical log. Now the military technical log comes in 2 halves basically. You've got the 707A and the 707B. And just to put on a visual representation of what this is, there is a YouTube lesson on tech logs, so all of the actual forms I'm going to scroll up on here, you can get better quality versions of them on Moodle. If you look at tech logs on Moodle, there's a lesson on that. Okay, it's nice and simple. It's broken down into just examples of each one, right? But this is just tell you how they actually work. So the military 707A basically looks like this. You have a big page like that, and it's set up into different rows, and each row very basically has this one. Sorry, I'm trying to video from home and my wife's phone's going off in the background, putting us off. Right, so this one has basically you'll have the, and I'll try and write this a little bit bigger because I've been watching the videos back and I need to make these bigger. Right, okay, now on this side of it, right, you've got the fault, you've got the work done, you've got the signature box. Right, now the signature box on this, right, will be by a coordinator. Right, so you'll have the fault on the aircraft, and that could be anything. You can write anything in there. Generally these are filled in by the aircrew. Will come in the 707A. You'll have a daily flight report, sorry, not daily flight report, you'll have a post-flight report, and the aircrew will put a snag in there, or the ground crew might put it in for them. Right, and the aircrew will come in, report a fault just verbally to the ground crew sometimes, and the ground crew, you'll have the maintenance coordinator will be sitting there and they'll say what was wrong with that aircraft, and they'll put a fault in. Right, once that fault is there, it cannot go away. Right, you can't just delete that. The only way to get rid of that fault is to do the work and sign it off. Right, so the 7, and this is the 707A, right, for the military system. What's wrong with it? How did you fix it? Sign it off. Now obviously putting the nitty-gritty detail of exactly what you did. Okay, let's look at what we've done in the hangar when we took the wheel off. Yeah, okay, so we said the wheel needed to be replaced with a new wheel. So you wouldn't put wheel taken off, wheel put back on, torque wrench to 13 pounds feet, bearing sets, replacement wheel, you know, and all that sort of stuff, all the little bits you did. Think of a complicated avionics snag if you were diagnosing a fault on a radar and it involved you know, replacing the radar system, putting a new controller in and then testing that, and you know, carrying out all, you'd have to have column after column after column after column. The aircrew aren't interested in how you fixed it. That may sound a bit draconian, but they're not really. They're interested in, there may be lots and lots of different faults on the airplane. They want to know if it's safe to fly or not. So the 707A is mainly a coagulation, basically a compression of all the work that's been done on the airplane into just basic faults. What was wrong with it? How did you fix it, basically, and then sign it off. You notice the person signing this off isn't the person that actually did the job. That's because the military have a two-stage system, right? And that two-stage system, the second stage is this 707A is a record of all the 707Bs. Now the 707Bs, right? If I change that. The 707Bs, right, on the front sheet of the 707B, unfortunately I don't have one at home to show you. There's loads at work I would show you in the class, but I don't have anything at home. The front sheet of that is basically the top end of the front sheet is the same as that. What was wrong? How did you fix it? Has it been signed off? Okay. The back sheet of it, right, instead of being signed, and that's signed off by a coordinator as well. The back sheet of that, right, exists with this, and you'd have lots and lots of smaller boxes, and then you'll have I'm trying to think back to my days in the RAF. You'll have, we'll call that, I haven't left enough. Okay, right, so you'll have the same thing on the back, and this is the actual job card, the back of the job card, where you do most of the work on the 707B. So you'll put in what fault did you do, work done, but this is now split up into individual tasks. Yeah, so that fault, for example, might be remove the wheel, you know, check brakes, and then refit wheel. As you do each job, you can sign for it as you go, okay? And that clears. Once that's signed down to there, if we put some more boxes down there, because that's what it would look like on a real one. Okay, now there will be examples of these going up on Moodle. If you did, so you put, so you've done that, you've moved the wheel, I've checked the brakes, I've refitted the wheel, right? And then you would say, right, okay, so the mechanic would then, you would sign for your job, the supervisor would oversign that, you would sign for that, supervisor would oversign that, supervisor would oversign that. You then put a big massive line down there, so these boxes can't be used. Okay, that's important because it means that someone else could put an entry in there and do that, and then if you hadn't lined that off, people might think, oh well, that's what you've done. Okay, so you only sign for the bits that you've done and that are fully complete, and you are responsible in that signature box there for the quality and completeness of your work. What does quality and completeness of your work mean? It means that all the work's been done in accordance with the manual, all the correct tools have been used, the correct procedures have been followed, and that everything in that job is within UK aviation safety specs, within UK aviation safety law, or CAA specs, or EASA specs, or whatever. If it's the military system, it comes under the MEAA, which is Military Airworthiness Authority. It's saying that you've done, basically saying that you've done the job properly to the best of your ability, right, and to a standard, not just to the best of your ability. It's not saying, well, I did it as best as I could, and is that okay? It's saying that once you've signed off that job is done perfectly, there are no faults with it, and that aircraft is safe to fly. That gets done. Once all of these little jobs have been done, you go back to the front sheet that we had before that just had 3 boxes on it. Yeah, you sign that off, the front sheet. The supervisor will sign off the front sheet, and the coordinator will sign off the bottom of the front sheet. Right, the coordinator will then go back seamlessly. Okay, so remember 707A, which is where we'll log that everybody sees. Okay, so This is like the backstage area where all the work's getting done. The log that the aircrew sees is the 707A, and it only has one signature box here. Yeah. Right. So the 707A, and then that signature box, remember, was the coordinator. Right, and the coordinator just signs that they have checked the job cards and the job cards have been signed off. So once the 707Bs have been signed off, then the 707A is cleared. The legal bit for this is the 707A is the technical log, as the civilians would know it. This is the tech log for the aircraft. Okay, the civilian system is it's slightly different, but it's based on the same principle of what was wrong, how did you fix it, sign it off. So I'll go through that now. Okay. Right, so the civilian system, what you have is you have a tech log. And the tech log, if you look on the PowerPoints, because I'm not going to draw it all on here for you now, the pink one on the PowerPoints that you can see about halfway through the slides, you'll see is a I think it's a Jet 2 one. Oh, maybe a KLM one. I think it's KLM, right? Okay, what they basically have is they only have, just trying to do this from memory now, right? This half of the form is similar to the 707A, similar to tech log. It's got some details about the aircraft at the top, so it has aircraft details up there, and the aircraft details would be what's the registration of the aircraft? G, B, W, or G, Bob, whatever I call it, right? So that's the aircraft details. It's what type of aircraft it is, what's been operated under, you know, and things like that. We're interested in this half for now. This half will have a fault. Okay, and that fault. Now there's varying different. Let me spell fault right. Hang on. Okay, two faults are work done. Two faults with the work done. Okay, and they won't be signed off individually. They will have under this have an ATA reference. So I'll have ATA in a separate little box down there. Right, we'll talk about the Air Transport Authority in a minute. The Air Transport Authority is basically the manual, okay, and we'll talk about how that all fits in when we do. In fact, that's in the lesson on manuals, and we'll talk about ATA chapters. So if you look at the lesson on manuals, this is the ATA chapter. So when we followed the manual, when we did the attention check and we did the rudder replacement in the hangar, this would be what we followed. Okay, right, I'm just going to check how much time I've got left on the camera. Okay, so we're nearly up to 15 minutes now. So this side of it, okay, you've got the fault, you've got the work done, exactly the same, okay, as the military 707A. What was wrong? How did you fix it? What did you fix it in accordance with? So this is the in accordance with box. I should have mentioned on the 707B, this box on the 707B, each box that would be signed off would have an in accordance with the manual details on there, right? So this is how did you do it? What did you do it in accordance with? What did you do? What did you do it in accordance with? And then the B1 licensed engineer will sign at the bottom of here that they have completed those tasks properly, that they've cleared those faults, and they will sign there. Okay. Once they've signed there, then down here, yeah, this is two separate flights. So this is like a flight service certificate. What you'll see on that one is basically you'll have a section for fuel, you'll have a section for de-icing, you'll have a section for hydraulics possibly. And this is the day-to-day activities, and this will be flight details. Okay. So this will be the day-to-day activities of the aircraft. One flight, and just one flight, Newcastle to London. It lands in Newcastle, and then the flight details, what time it landed, how much fuel it had used, things like that will all be in the flight details. Then you'll sign for putting the fuel in, so there'll be a little signature there. Okay, so someone, now that might not be the engineers, that might be the fueling crew or handling crew. The de-icing crew will sign if it needs de-icing. Okay, if the technicians and the engineers have had to put some hydraulics on top of the hydraulics, they will say how much hydraulic fluid they've put in. Engine oils might be on there. Okay, so this isn't a snag, this isn't anything wrong with the aeroplane, this is just regular scheduled day-to-day maintenance that gets done. If something's wrong with it, the stuff goes in here. If it's okay to fly again and there's nothing wrong with the aeroplane, you just fill this part in. So a lot of this part might be blank if the aircraft's got no faults on it. Same thing, you'll also same for the engine oils, and then the important bit about this at the bottom will be the aircrew acceptance at the bottom section here, right? You will have the pilot will sign off the aircraft here, or the captain of the aircraft. Right, okay. So they will sign that the aircrew are happy that all of that's been signed off. That's been signed off, and this is a final signature by the pilot to say they are happy to accept the aeroplane. Now there is a military version that I didn't talk about before, which isn't on the 707A. That's on the thing called the Flight Servicing Certificate. What we're going to do for this assignment is we're going to miss out the Flight Servicing Certificate, because basically this is the Flight Servicing Certificate that leads up to when we do distinction point 1, which is clearing an aircraft for flight. I do the military system, and then people that want that distinction are going to have to research that, and there's going to be some material coming for that. Okay, so that's what we're going to leave it as for now. This one, so that's one flight. When it flew back to London, when it landed in London, it would have that all filled out again on this, so you get 2 flights out of that. And sometimes there's 3, I think there's 3 boxes on the okay, so the camera just cut out there for a second. Right, okay, so what we've got here, we've got the civilian tech log for an airliner type 1. The same principle. What was wrong? How did you fix it? Sign to say that you fixed it. Okay, and this would basically, the civilian is a little bit stripped down, so instead of having lots and lots of faults that someone signs off individually, okay, one person signs off all of that work that's been done, and they take responsibility that the aircraft is safe to fly. That's what you get the big bucks for if you get your B1.1 license. Okay, right. On the other side of it then, you've got your flight details here. This is your Flight Servicing Certificate, which clears the aircraft for flight. And we'll talk about that in a separate lesson a little bit later on. So all I want to finish off this lesson with is that's the tech log, that's how it works. Okay, there's lots and lots of stuff on there. If we're doing a lesson one-to-one in the classroom, I would go through the nitty-gritty of exactly all the little bits, what they mean, and give you a little bit more of a kind of an opportunity to ask questions. What I would say to you is, if you've got questions on that, the question that what you really need to know, the bare basics of what you need to know is what is the tech log and what is it used for. So the technical log is there, it's used to record faults on the aeroplane, and it's used to record the fact that those faults have been cleared using an approved method in accordance with the ATA chapter in the manual. Okay, so the faults have been cleared, and it's also used to hand responsibility from the aircraft, from the pilots over to the ground crew and back to the air crew again, back to the pilots again. So what they do is when they fly this bit, they'll fill in the aircraft details, they'll fill in the flight details of when it landed and things like that. They'll hand the tech over the aircraft, they will fill in any faults on this part of it, so they'll say this is what's wrong with it. The responsibility goes to the ground crew then fix the aeroplane, they do the standard maintenance, so they'll do the fuel and the hydraulics and the engine oils and everything. They'll sign for all of that. The responsibility is then handed back to the aircrew when they look and say, right, okay, the aircrew will look at this and say, am I happy that all of this has been done? If there's mistakes on this, if there's a fault there and there's nothing in the work done box, they will not accept the aircraft. Okay, if the ATA chapter isn't the correct one, they won't accept the aircraft. If anything's missing on here, they have the authority not to accept the aircraft. If it's all filled in, the pilot will check. The pilot will then sign to say they are happy to take responsibility for the aeroplane. They'll say this aeroplane is safe to fly, we are happy to fly it, and they'll sign there to say that. Okay, once they've signed that, they'll then go to the aeroplane, take it flying, and it'll be okay. Now, nowadays, what we have now is an e-tech log. All of this is done electronically, and there are some videos going to be available very soon on Moodle, not on YouTube, right, on Moodle. The reason they're on Moodle is because I don't want them on YouTube. Simple as that. Right, there's some videos of an e-tech log on Moodle, have a look at them. They're in 3 parts because we're only allowed to upload very small video sizes to Moodle, so they're in three separate parts. Have a look at them, and that's what an eTech log is. Okay, you'll see the similarities between this, and we're trying to edit the video down because I think I would like 14-15 minutes of footage, so there was only 10 minutes. That's really useful because I only had that tech log for a very short period of time to sort of show people how it works. Okay, so I had to do it. I had to do a very quick edit of the video. The quality on that video is not very good. You can't actually make out some of the writing on the tech log. I apologise for that. It's the best I could do with very, very short notice. Right, that's the military side of the tech log. That's the civilian side of the tech log. That is what it's there for. Okay, any questions, email me please, or comment on this video. What's coming soon in aircraft maintenance is, just to finish this off, we need to look at job cards and work packages. I'll do a very quick video now on that, and then that's people are ready for assignment 4. I just have to do boroscopes. There is a comprehensive explanation of boroscopes on Moodle as well. Okay, that's for the merit task. We'll have to look at boroscopes. Right, signing off now. I'll do a quick one on job cards. Okay, and then any questions, please ask questions if you're not sure. Right, please don't think I'm sitting at home. I'm waiting for emails to come in with questions on. Okay, quick update on this assignment 4, quite a short one. You've done most of the teaching. I'll give you a work package to do at the end of when, like, I think Rod gave you that in your hand before we all got told that we couldn't come to college anymore. Hopefully if you've done that, you've only got this little bit on tech logs to do and a bit on boroscopes, and then you can finish that assignment off. Okay, so that assignment is going to be due in quite soon. It's going to be going on Moodle as a Turnitin assignment very soon. Don't think there's any drawings required for this assignment, just to give you a bit of rest on that. Right? Oh, sorry, there is. Yeah, you've got to do a block diagram of the planning. Okay, other than the block diagram of the planning, you don't have to do any drawings of this. Okay, right, I'll see you very soon. Thanks very much for listening. Welcome back. So this is, we're going to talk about job cards versus work packages. Okay, so this is the last part of the thing that we're talking about with the topic 4 on aircraft maintenance, and we are looking at the difference between the two. So civilian and military, civilians, there's lots and lots of terminology out there. Sometimes you just call them tech log entries. Okay, so a job card might just be a tech log entry, but you've got job cards, work orders are sometimes called. Set the full name for the military 707B is the maintenance work order. I'm not going to go into all the nitty gritty differences between them. They're basically, these are all the same thing. And then you have civilian at the top. They'll call them work packages, okay, or WPs, work packages. There's other slight things that they call them out there. The military version is an MP, a maintenance procedure. Okay, they used to be called SPs, which is service in the old. If you see SP202 on some of the assignments that are kicking out there, that is the old service and procedure for an aileron cable tension check on the Jet Provost. Which, if you remember, we said for the merit criteria, we're looking at the need for nature of things. We're looking at it's called for and scheduled maintenance. So on those 3 reasons on the merit criteria, if the pilot reported a fault, remember the 3 reasons were pilot reports a fault, called for and scheduled maintenance, or the system has been disturbed. Right? If the pilot had reported a fault, you would use a non-scheduled maintenance job card. Okay, job cards are for non-scheduled maintenance, snags, faults that crop up that you haven't planned for. If it was called for and scheduled maintenance, you'd use a maintenance procedure or a work package like this. Now the difference between the two of them is the work package is pre-printed. It tells you what to do. It gives you a set series of events to follow. Okay, so set series of events. This thing is open. The boxes are blank. You can write in there whatever you want. Okay, and this is for stuff that crops up and bites you in the bum that you don't see coming. Okay, so something like that would be, this fuel filter change. If every sort of 5,000 flying hours or 600 flying hours, whatever you want to put in there, you'd have to change the fuel filter on the engine. You know you're going to have to do it. You know what you're going to have to do, right? So you can pre-print the job card out there. The manufacturers and the airline will say, this is how I want you to do it. And this is all in accordance with an ATA chapter, okay? And it'll be given a serial number. So it'll say that work package needs to be carried out by a certain time. On this side of it, what you have to do is, let's say the fuel filter was blocked. It wasn't meant to be blocked, it was just found to be blocked, and the engine, it report a fault, it come up on the engine system that it had a fuel filter issue. It might report that electronically to the ECAM system or the CFDS system in the cockpit. Comes up with a little fault code, just like you get like a little flashing red light on your car. You get a little spanner when it detects a fault with one of the sensors in the engine. Okay, so it comes up, let's say it detects a fault like that on a modern aircraft. What you'd say is fault code 94, fault code 97, fuel filter blocked, fuel filter taken out and replaced with new filter, and then you might have another entry, system to be tested, system tested in accordance with, and then you sign off both those blocks, and once you'd signed those blocks off, that would clear the tech log and the aircraft could go flying. That's for unscheduled maintenance, and that would be on a job card, right? On a work package, if it was scheduled maintenance, that the fuel filter, it wasn't blocked, but you were just changing it as a matter of course, so that you put a new one in there to keep the engine running smoothly, so you're doing proactive maintenance, you would have a work package. And on the work package, what you could do is, as you can see, still the signature box, right? And you go down here and bit by bit, as you're doing the job, right, you would sign off at the end of it to say that the job is now complete, and that would sign off the work package in total. Okay, now the big difference between the two of them is this one's got an advantage over this one. This one is good for ad hoc things that are coming up, that you can use it to clear the aircraft for flight with any fault that comes up there. This one, but the problem is with this one, as you sign it off, if I just sign that off there, right, if I did a job and I'm saying, okay, that was the filter blocked, or let's give it a more complicated job. Let's say that fuel filter takes 6 hours to dismantle the engine to get to replace it. I've chosen a bad example here, you wouldn't get a fuel filter that took that long, but let's say that job takes a long time to do, right? So that job there, we'll get the part of it and we haven't finished it, we haven't tested the system, so we'll have to raise another one to say, okay, test system, okay, so we can, that one's done, and then we'll sign that one off, but we can't sign this one off because we haven't had time to do that. So that means, it might be that you're halfway through doing that one, there's only one signature box, right, and you kind of, so this is the whole job card clear. You can't clear the whole job card because it's not done yet. What you can do with this one is, each bit, the jobs are split down into very, very short, very small tasks. So this might be pages and pages long, okay. This could be an entire A check on an aircraft, or an entire D check. Could all be on one serial number of work there. That's called a serial number of work, or a SNOW. Okay, and you'll also have, each one of these will have a SNOW. So each job card will have a serial number of work, so that you can in the main tech log, you can refer to all the detail on the job cards with the unique serial number of work. It will be a date and a time, and it will be the job that was carried out with a unique serial number. So you can refer to them. Right, so this one here, as we go down it, if you've only done the cover off, you can just do that and you can sign for that, and you can leave all the rest of it, and other people can come along. So that night shift might do that, and then day shift might come back in, and somebody else from day shift comes in and they sign for that. Apologise if you're colour blind, that's actually in green and blue, sorry about that, that's the only pens I've got. And then the coordinator at the end might say, right, that's all been cleared, sign that off, the aircraft can go flying. Okay, so if you just look at that, what we have there is difference between the job cards. Unscheduled snags, and you have to complete the whole job card to sign the whole thing off for the tech log. This one you can sign for it as you go, right, and then sign the whole thing off at the end. So this is easier to hand over, but slightly easier to hand over between shift work. Okay, this one you can still hand over between shift work, you can still do that, but you have to do a little bit of, like, you have to raise the bits you haven't done on a separate entry, and it becomes slightly more complex and slightly more open to things not getting handed over properly. Where this one, there's a definite line, I did up to there and I finished that. Okay, if you haven't finished, if you started refitting the cover and you haven't finished it, just don't sign it, and then the next person comes in has to start that little bit again. Okay, so this is a lot, on a safety point of view, the work package is better for scheduled work, because it can be used to hand over between jobs, whereas this one is better for unscheduled work. It needs to be there, we need to have that for unscheduled work because things are always going to happen like that. That's like, you know, 20-30 years or 20 odd years of aircraft engineering experience into 5 minutes. There's lots more on this system that I could teach you. I'm trying to work out to get down to the bare bones about what you need to know to fill out the to basically meet the criteria. So job cards, unscheduled, work packages, let's get it away so you can see that. Work packages are scheduled maintenance, and that's the basic difference between the two of them. Okay, right, thanks for listening. Questions, email me please.